Good evening, everyone. This is Terraquator. We're going to talk TikTok. Yes. Early in the day of January 17th, 2025, on a Friday, the U.S. Supreme Court has officially upheld the 24656 TikTok v. Eric Garland case, upholding the act called Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. Whole hullabaloo there. But essentially, it bans TikTok. Really, it shouldn't. And I understand people are really pissed about it. Really, what they're trying to tell ByteDance is this has been going on for a year, where this was the deadline to, divest or shut down, and they decided to play a game of chicken because this is a Chinese application. TikTok said, okay, well, they're just gonna keep going. Because I guess they thought that it wasn't going to be enforced, and it's weird because it's all signed. It was already signed, and goes into effect. So people are trying to think, oh, well, is Trump not going to enforce it? Well, the problem is, it was already signed. You'd have to make another act to re-legalize it because it was ratified. It's silly. You can't executive order something that was signed by all three branches and upheld by the Supreme Court. But it wasn't a TikTok ban. It was China divest, get their stock, their hold on TikTok out, and people can keep using it. Well, they're telling their users that it was the U.S. government that is forcing them to shut down. No, that's not true. The truth is, they would rather shut down than sell. For some, I can understand. I mean, there's money to be made there. But the reality is, you need to understand, China has a policy of all technology must be dual purpose. It must serve the party. If it serves as social media and for fun, it must also serve for the party. It must, which is military and government. So TikTok is China's interest. They don't, and they China gets to manipulate whatever they want with the app, and it's a huge arguable thing, and everyone's argued over it. But the thing is, we said all you have, it can still exist. All you have to do is divest. That's it. Because TikTok is owned by ByteDance, which is a Chinese company. But all they have to do is ByteDance only needs to sell off those things to another person or group like YouTube or X or Amazon, anyone really. I mean, heck, didn't someone say even Mr. Beast? Didn't someone say even Mr. Beast was offering? It's weird, but anyone could have bought it, and they kept saying no. So if you want to blame anyone, you blame the company on this one, because they weren't saying they weren't saying you cease to exist. They're like, well, just sell off the assets so people can keep using it. And they said, and pretty much the Chinese government said, we would rather destroy it than let anyone else use it. Or we would rather destroy it than sell it. which, for one, it's greedy. Oh no, China, are you dealing in greed? Look, I'm very anti-Chinese government. I'm not anti-Chinese people, I'm anti-Chinese government. And I can tell you, I know a lot of people who are preemptively banned on TikTok. I was wondering what was happening. My, hello! I'm sitting there getting lower and lower and lower. Anyway. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to do that. I think I broke it. Did I break it? Let's see. A little bit. Well, yeah. It's, huh. Well,
What will we come across?
I guess I'm gonna have to take that off of there, aren't I? Well then, guess you're coming with me. You get to, no, you're not coming with me. I'm gonna tilt you up, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to fix this later. Well, that broke. That just happened. Oh boy. But, look, blame TikTok, don't blame the government on this one. Look, I don't like Biden. I really don't. I don't like to be political on all this, but I have to. But all of this, it's silly, it's stupid, but at the same time, short form content is gross. It's horrible, horrible stuff. You shouldn't watch short form content. It's not good for you. It rots your brain, as they say. No, it's... Well, it does. There are so many other things, but... Look, TikTok was just a bad idea. It follows the concept of short-term gains, and it doesn't look long-term, at least for here in the United States. And like TikTok's completely different in China. Their version of TikTok is different. It's more educational. It's still short form, kind of, but why is it even in China, who owns ByteDance, wants TikTok to keep running, but knows that content is really destructive, so they don't let that kind of short form content in their country. So I'm not gonna placate the political side of it. I'll just go with the psychological. Short form content is a terrible, terrible thing. Especially if you're going for those dopamine hits, you know, the constant video. Believe me, I do it all the time. I hate it. I hate just flipping through shorts and Instagram and Facebook and what am I doing now? I'm gonna look over. Oh, what's this video? Oh, this dog took a crap. I saw a video of an elk peeing in its mouth. In a short. It's not healthy. Just scroll through. When you think about it that way, you scroll through and so, oh, well, that happened. That's some dopamine. Constantly getting hit with dopamine from short-term bursts of things. It's not healthy. I get that other platforms are going to have short-form content. But please divest from short-form content. It's cheap, it's easy, it's quick. Making it is annoying as heck. It really is. But it lowers your attention span. Stop doing it. That's the best I can say, is don't do short form content in general, because it make your brain go brr. And that's how I feel right now. Brr. Anyway, we had a whole bunch of things kind of break apart over here. But yeah, I'm actually on the side with the U.S. Supreme Court for national security reasons. Yeah, because their argument was very solid. TikTok's wasn't. It was not a First Amendment issue. You can still speak. All they had to do was divest, but China's like, nah, no. We went to mess with your kids. Screw off, Chinese government. Like, I can tell you, I like voice acting. I considered voice acting for things like Genshin Impact or, Hoyoverse. I thought about auditioning for those, but I know I can't. Not because of the voice actors union strike, but because I'm anti-Chinese government. I could get Hoyoverse in trouble. If they hired me for being anti-Chinese government, they could get in trouble for hiring someone anti-Chinese government. Because I am not going to apologize for my views on the Chinese government. I'm not. I'm just not. If I'm wrong on something, I will. But I'm not going to get pressured into it either. And that is something that you just can't have on these platforms. And anti-Chinese, like it was a very. It's not in your face, but it's subliminal. Subliminal. Remember, kids. Subliminal messaging is a real thing. And it's a very powerful thing. But really, it was the short form content that's just rotting your brain because you're constantly getting that hit of dopamine. You really should pay attention to old MatPat's theory. What was his video on that? But MatPat even talked on it. I think even Aiden Paladin talked about it. Plenty of people have talked about how short form content is not good for you. And every time I get in that cycle, I feel it because I'm constantly paying. I'm a kind of person who constantly pays attention to their own mental state of mind. I have to constantly monitor myself. All the time I have to constantly monitor myself. It sucks. But through that constant monitoring, I can feel that doom scrolling it lowers your mood. Like you think you get a laugh and everything, but as soon as you pull away, you feel horrible. After you pull away from a doom scroll. You know what a doom scroll is. Okay, for those who don't know what a doom scroll is, it's where you look after video after video after video after video and you're just flicking your thumb. Doom scrolling, I guess you could also do on X. I have done this. But the short form content's gotta stop, guys. It really does. It is rotting our brains. TikTok was a psychological and economic weapon from the Chinese government on us. I'm not saying it was, a bang bang. No, it was a psychological weapon. It was a tool that has said, this can break us. And it did. Because they weaponized short form content. Oh my god! And we played into it like puppies. I like kittens. Anyway, we played into their hands. The short form content is addiction. It's an addiction. I mean, don't get me wrong, YouTube's an addiction too, but at least it gives you enough time to think. And that's why they've increased the time to 3 minutes. They're like, oh, we'll give you 3 minutes now. Because they want to change the format to vertical. The short form content is hyper destructive. It's gotta stop. Anyway, their algorithm was manipulated and all. We can go over all that stuff with it being national. All they had to do was just divest and they could have kept existing. They didn't. So now that gotta go. The very fact that they said, nah, we're good, is proof is like, I wouldn't say proof. It's further evidence that it was a It was a psychological and economic weapon. Because we're like, here's an option to keep it existing. Nah, we're good. We want to keep control over it. That tells you a whole lot that it was a national security issue. Cat and mouse kind of thing. Anyway, TikTok's gonna go. And there are gonna be a lot of really angry people. Honestly, we'll see how things go, but when you mess with people's livelihoods, and that's the thing, you can't blame the federal government on this one. You can't. TikTok was given options, and ByteDance said no. They want you to blame the government for it, but it wasn't. Anyway, I just really, I want to be one of those people who's like, hey, stop looking at short form content. It sucks. It's not good for you.
The show begins.
Like, it increases, like, it artificially creates attention deficit disorder because you're constantly hitting yourself with dopamine. Believe me, you can create these phenomena. It's possible. You don't want that. Anyway, this is TerraCauteur. That's my take on TikTok. It needed to go. It really did. It sucks that people are gonna lose are gonna lose money. You should have planned ahead. Like, what you can do now, do it now. Move all of your audience over to another platform. Move them to Rumble. Move them to YouTube. But move them to places where you feel like you're not going to be crunched or stepped on and stuff like that. Whatever. But that's kind of what happened with Vine. Remember Vine? The Viners came over to YouTube for a little while because Vine closed down. I really wish Musk would have bought TikTok. We could have gotten Vine back, but no. But again, it was the short form content. I don't want short form content anymore. Anyway, move your audience over and get them to congregate around you in a new sphere, and it can make whole other ecosystems flourish. This could have been avoided. This whole shutdown could have been avoided. All they had to do was divest, and they didn't. And anyway, for you TikTokers out there, luck be with you. It's going to be complicating. We've got a complicating road ahead of us, but I think you'll be okay. I think. I understand people will say they will not be okay. Plan ahead and just learn to move quickly with things. And it's called rebuild. I'm constantly rebuilding myself, even though I'm a complete nobody. Anyway, this is TerraCauteur.
Oh, brilliant.
Sorry, TikTok. Gotta go. See you around. And again, I'm going to reiterate, stop using short form content. It rots your brain.